So I'm here to give you another update on the market, the crazy market. It's a seller's market, in case you haven't noticed, if you're out there buying houses, and I'm going to tell you why, and we're starting right now. Stay tuned. Hey y'all, Debbie Dobbins here, your host for this episode of Your Wichita Falls. And I cannot believe I haven't recorded a video for 2 whole weeks. I feel like writers that have writer's block. It's been extremely busy. So let me explain what all of that has to do with any of this, especially being a seller's market. It is crazy out there. Oh my goodness. It's so crazy out there. Again, I guess I was happy to have a little nap during November and December and a little bit in January, but things have started to heat up again. And so we did have a little itty bitty brief moment of a buyer's market. I didn't think it was going to last, but hey, it's not. It's now a seller's market. We'll full throttle into another seller's market. What does that mean? Because at the end of the day, if it's a buyer's market, it means that there's more inventory than there are buyers. If it's a seller's market, there's less inventory than there are buyers. It's simple supply and demand. And I've talked about that ad nauseum, I think, about how the market works. Everything in the market works the same way. And my buyers and sellers sometimes get tired of hearing me say, the market is always right. Because the market is always right. We do not control the market. The market is controlled by everybody. So I mean, we do as a collective, but we don't individually control the market. So even though the activity in the housing market slowed down some, actually it slowed down a lot, November and December. And I attribute that to the fact that people were just scared. They didn't know what was happening. This crazy Fed was out of control and, didn't know what was going to happen with rates. And I've done a bunch of videos on the rates themselves and how they're really just the normal rates that they should be right now. I still hear people go, oh my goodness, there's a show I saw one time. It was a grumble, grumble, grumble. Because at the end of the day, we can't grumble about anything. And I'm about to do a video on a 30-day positivity challenge, so stay tuned for that. But it slowed from the frenzy right now, thank goodness, that we saw over a year ago. But there is a low supply of homes, meaning a shortage of inventory, again, for sale. So what does that mean? It's a seller's market. But what does that mean for you? What does that mean for anybody? And why are these conditions today so good if you want to list your house or you want to buy a house? The fact of the matter is if you watch this channel at all, or you hear me, or you know me, it's always a good time to buy a house. It's always a good time to buy a house. There hasn't been a time, even in 2008, leading up to that, and frankly, some people didn't see it. I saw it but didn't do anything about it in 2008. But the fact is that even then, had you held on for a couple of years, it would have been back to normal. But I digress. So when you look at real estate and buying a home, period, it's always a good investment. And I have talked about how real estate is the best investment. And honestly, right now, if you have your money in the stock market, talk about volatility and craziness, I'd be out of there in a heartbeat. But what happens is people find safety in the bond market, which is actually helping our interest rates. And if you are paying attention at all, interest rates dipped really as a result of the banking craziness that's going on. So I did a video on that. But the fact is that right now we are in a seller's market because the number of homes available for sale, too little and not enough for all the buyers that we have. So there's all these reports that show up every, few days, every week, every month. I mean, there's reports that you could read, but there's one particularly that we look at as a real estate person, and that is the existing home sales that comes out from the National Association of Realtors. That shows, again, and this is where you really want to start to listen to what I'm about to say. They say it's astonishingly low. I'm like, okay, well, I know why it's low. I did a video on that a couple of weeks ago on why the inventory is low. People feel rate locked and they feel like they won't find a place to go. So they're holding on to their houses. But the thing is that we're still at a very brisk pace for purchasers. Now, the thing is today we have a 2.6 month supply of homes at the current sales pace. Well, okay, you're like, what does that mean? Well, historically, a 6-month supply is necessary for a normal or neutral market. Well, it's just math. So if we have 2.6 and 6 is normal, we are way below normal, meaning we don't have enough inventory. I keep saying this over and over. And what I'm seeing and what everybody that's paying attention to the market is seeing is that there's multiple offers again and over asking price. I do not believe we are going to get into the craziness that we were in last year, but we are still moving in a direction where prices are going to go up. So when there's not enough homes available for these buyers, then you see a problem. So there's a graph right here that you can see that there's just not enough available inventory for people to purchase homes. All that means is that we're now back into a seller's market. As I said, we had a blip on the radar for a buyer's market. It did not last long because people just got scared, as I said. But if you're looking to buy a home, that means you're likely facing some unique challenges just like we felt last year. And I think it was fatiguing for buyers, and maybe they'll start to look at it a little bit differently this time, but I can assure you, based on our little community, there's overbidding on houses again. But keep in mind, what I think is interesting is that people are becoming more picky. The houses that are more attractive are going to go fast, and the ones that are not so attractive, and I don't mean just, the way they look, the way they show up, that they may be structurally sound. People are not buying fixers, let's put it that way. So you might be finding difficulty in finding a home again. But keep in mind, there are some benefits to being a buyer in today's market. And there's good reasons to stick with your search. So here are a few of them. And if you watch this channel, you're going to say, oh my God, she tells me that every single time I listen to a video. Yes, I do. I do. Because the long-term benefits of buying a home completely, 100%, no question, outweigh your short-term challenges. Every day, all day. Owning a home grows your net worth. Hello? Building wealth. And since building that wealth takes time, it makes sense to start as soon as you can. Go! Start now. And I don't say that because I sell real estate. Oh my gosh. I say that as a financial empowerment coach, because if you want to financially empower yourself, you have to begin by building wealth. How do you do that? Number one, buy real estate. If you want to buy and keep renting, you are going to miss out on those monthly housing payments going towards your home equity. Oh my goodness. I always say this, it's like having a piggy bank that you live in, and you've got a little slot on your roof that every time you make your mortgage payment, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Freddie Mac, our lovely Freddie Mac, puts it this way. Home ownership not only builds a sense of pride and accomplishment, well, yeah, duh, but it also is an important step towards achieving long-term financial stability. I could say this about 16 ways from Sunday, but at the end of the day, if you want to be financially independent, you want to be financially free, you have got to buy a home. Stop renting. The key is this long term, because the financial benefits of home ownership provide home value appreciation and equity, and they grow over time. So if you have, and this is really great if you have problems saving, if you've never had a savings account in your life, that's one of the reasons you may be not buying a home, but there's ways to get around that for your down payment and your closing costs. But this is a forced savings plan. So those benefits are worth the short-term challenges that you may be feeling that you have difficulty getting into a home. And if it's credit that's keeping you from doing that, then let's look at that together, because I can share with you a plan of action of how you get from here to there as quickly as possible. And also, if you're thinking that these challenges of it being a seller's market is what's going to keep you out of the market, oh, please. How many times have I told people in the last 3 years That should not be your reasoning. And where are they today? Sitting on the sidelines still, where the prices are going up and up and up and up and up. So these mortgage rates are constantly changing. That should not be your motivating factor ever, 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 ever. In buying a home, you should never consider mortgage rates and where they are at any given time. Now, yes, shop your rates with lender to lender, but never, ever get stuck on thinking, oh, these rates are so high, I have to wait. Oh my goodness gracious. There's a thing called a refinance, and there's a thing called a buy down, and there's just standard rates right now. So please don't use that as an excuse. They've been hovering around 6.5% over the last several months. And the fact of the matter is that's just a normal interest rate. I've done those videos too. Holy moly. You get into a home for a very reasonable amount of money, and it is still better to buy than it is to rent.
Top secret.
And Sam Cotter, the chief economist at Freddie Mac, says they've been coming down some recently. Well, I just said that. The thing is the rates are going to be the rates are going to be the rates. And so economic uncertainty is what's causing these rates to come down a little bit. And so when this sounds terrible, but whenever we're having problems with the economy, I'm excited because interest rates are going to come down. They flee to the bond market, so the rates come down. But here's the thing, is that rates, as I said, are rates. Do not let that be the indicator of why you don't buy a home. Buy a home, get a house, start building wealth, and then move on to your next house, or rent it out, or become, a real estate entrepreneur, anything to build wealth using real estate. But, sometimes when you're looking at rates, you think, oh gosh, I could get so much more of a house. Right now, what's most important is home ownership. And so Realtor.com says, as we move into the spring buying season, mortgage rates have ticked lower as a welcome sign of progress toward affordability. That's not why people are buying, though. I'm telling you, it's not. They finally just got over the fear of what was going to happen with these interest rates. And the Fed has given a signal, at least the bond market has picked that up, that they are going to take a pause, which, woohoo, we're all excited about that. But the recent drop in interest rates is good news if you couldn't afford to buy a home when they peaked. I don't know, everyone can afford to buy a house. It's just how much house you want to buy. So you have to make a decision. Am I willing to compromise, if you will, a little bit to get into a house to start building equity? Because every dollar, every penny of equity that you build is into a savings account to go to your next house, to your investment properties, to all of that opportunity to become an entrepreneur and financially free. But here's the thing, the home prices are going to go up. They're expected to go up by 100 real estate experts. Who they are, I don't know. But so home prices in the coming years means two things for you as a buyer, because they're going to go up. Waiting to buy a home could mean it'll become more expensive to do so because value of the houses are going up, which is good for you if you buy a house, because then your house gets equity faster. But buying now means the value of your home and your net worth will likely grow over time. What? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So the potential that your home is going to grow in value over time is built in. So I'm just going to say, buy your first home if you don't have one. If you're thinking about buying another home, look at it from the perspective of how it's going to build you wealth. But at the end of the day, we are in a seller's market. So also get a real estate professional that will help you make the best offer so that you're not overpaying and that you actually have resale value when it is time to sell your home, because that's also very important. And I'll share about that on another video. But in the meantime, if you have any questions whatsoever, there's a link to schedule a Zoom meeting with me right in the first comments below. So I'm always happy to share any of these insights with you directly. You can call me 940-224-1141. But at the end of the day, I want you to know that I'm here to make life easier for you, to help you build wealth in so many different ways. And as I always say, y'all come back now. You hear?